For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
One politician plays the role of a victim. That's coming up on our broadcast this afternoon. The Prime Minister speaks on St Lucia's position regarding the Ghana-Venezuela border dispute. And we're getting all set to observe International Human Rights Day, the significance of this year's observance in light of what has been happening in various parts of the world, including St. Lucia. And, of course, I'll be hearing from you at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. And Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. And definitely, we are continuing to promote our NewsSpin mug. And so far, the sale has been more than encouraging. A lot of people are inquiring, and a lot of people are purchasing their mugs. So, to do so, send me a WhatsApp message, not a WhatsApp call, but a WhatsApp message at 716-2026. And that is 716-2026. And the mug costs only $50 and makes for a good gift in time for Christmas. So here's hoping that you'll continue to make your purchases. And I'm predicting by next week we should be running out of mugs. So do your purchases as soon, or place your orders as soon as possible by sending me a WhatsApp message at 716-2026. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, earlier today on Rev Up St. Lucia, new radio station, spoke on a range of issues. Name calling in politics, matters relating to race, black versus white, whether we should be voting for people who are born in St. Lucia or people who have the same skin color with the majority of nationals on the island, which is black. And as far as the name calling is concerned. This problem has become more acute over the last few years in St. Lucia. It's something that has dominated our politics. But there's still a level of decorum, because politics, as we know it, it is not something that is being practiced by saints. One individual said a few years ago that politics is not for good boys. I disagree with that, because I think you should have a level of integrity. You should be someone who is at least not perfect, but decent. Someone who has certain values and principles to be a politician. Because it's all about serving at the highest level and putting the people before yourself. Because if it is all about you, the tendency will be for you to be corrupt. And so politics is not necessarily for good boys or good girls, but I believe it is for decent individuals, law-abiding people, not ruffians, not rogues. But the name calling has become something of a habit in St. Lucia. And unfortunately, it has been normalized. People make reference to you in the most degrading way. You have politicians talking about people who are tall and people who are short, and you have politicians making reference to old people. You know, something that is no longer seen as being acceptable. You don't say about old people. You make reference to senior citizens. You have to be, politically correct. And so when you have, for example, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia making reference to people ridiculing him because he stutters, there is no shortage of abuse that is being leveled at the opponents of the St. Lucia Labour Party. You have things like that coolie, referring there to former government minister Guy Joseph. You hear poodle, and there are people who have tried to justify this. Figure of speech, they say. But we have to set the right example for our young people, because there are a number of young people in St. Lucia, particularly in the education system. And just recently we heard from Education Minister Sean Edwards saying that bullying will not be tolerated in the education system. And I have evidence that the problem, I wouldn't say in the schools it's acute, but it is serious. It is sufficiently serious that every now and then yours truly will get a call to go to a school to lecture students on that particular subject. Fortunately, I'm not always able to accept the invitation or invitations. But politicians, definitely they have a responsibility to other individuals who in most instances do not know better. And we consider those people to be unrefined, unsophisticated, benighted, if you want to use a big word. They're in the darkness. They are unenlightened. So that problem that we're experiencing right now, I do not feel comfortable when I hear any politician crying foul, saying that they are being subjected to name calling and they are being ridiculed, because they are all in this together. So when the Prime Minister tells you that people are making fun of him because he stutters, on another occasion you'll hear him making reference to big belly politicians, those guys that they have big bellies and so on. He's not setting the right example. And he has said this before. If there's one thing he knows how to do, it's to play the politics. And he has been rewarded for this. Always reminding us he has been the MP for 6 straight terms. As far as running the country, in my estimation, not the most capable leader, but he is definitely a very capable politician and political leader of the St Lucia Labour Party. The evidence is there, winning overwhelmingly the general election of 2021. And so during his appearance on that program today, he spoke about name calling and the debate we had just a few weeks ago about whether a St. Lucian Prime Minister should be born in St. Lucia and the race issue. Let us listen to him speaking with Andre Paul.
There were some people who said a lot of things about me, why I shouldn't be Prime Minister. They said I stuttered. They said I couldn't bring international. They said I couldn't bring international investment. We try to hide these things.
Yeah, but these are two different things, Mr. Prime Minister.
Not two different things. That is much. In fact, being born in St. Lucia is a legitimate question. Legitimate question. Because there's a school of thought that says, I'm not saying I agree with it. Mm. You see, and there must be discussion. There's a school of thought that says, to represent the country, you must be born in it. There's a school of thought that says so. There are many people who think so. So to discuss it doesn't mean anything. There has not been any move by the government to make that a reality. Not be any move. Not be any move. You know, so it's just a matter of we're just looking for things to make. I mean, many people think that I should not be Prime Minister. They said I stuttered. They said I didn't like it, but I didn't tell them not to say it. In fact, they still say it. You understand? I mean, there was a guy who went on the radio and I'm coming back to the idea about black. Mm-hmm. When people were, racism. A guy went on a platform and he said he doesn't want any black man the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. He says he prefers, and the tip of the must have heard the tip, he prefers a white man Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Mm-hmm. He said it's on the platform, on the United Workers' Party platform. No one, we said we didn't like it, but we didn't make a fuss.
So you heard the Prime Minister, and he's saying more things, but we'll hear from him in just a moment. We'll continue to play that clip. When he says that somebody said on a platform of the United Workers' Party that we do not want a black Prime Minister. I'm just showing you how both sides, in anything that they preach against, that's exactly what they have practiced and they're continuing to practice. So he's saying that nobody condemned that individual. But there's a woman in a clip who said that we do not want any white Prime Minister. We are St. Lucians. We are black people. We don't want any white Prime Minister. And momentarily, I think we'll be able to play that clip because we're going on memory lane and the Prime Minister likes to say, you must fact check me. So, on this broadcast, don't know about the others, we are fact checking the Prime Minister. Yes, the comment was made. There wasn't any condemnation. But equally, there has been instances when supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, they have said that they don't want any white Prime Minister. What they want is a black Prime Minister. And this was clearly stated in the run-up to the 2021 general election. And we have to guard against bringing race into our politics because it has not been something that has been rife or something that has really plagued our discussions relating to politics in St. Lucia. What has caused this? I don't really know. But I think we'll be doing ourselves a world of good if we do not judge people based on the color of the skin, but based on their character. Listen to this and watch as well.
The white man, we don't want him. He needs to go. Move out. I don't just say we black people.
when it does not end there, you know. It will go on to, we don't need any short person as prime minister. We don't want a female as prime minister. It's male politicians we want at the helm of our government. We don't want no Indian as our prime minister. So we have to guard against this. We all, in the eyes of God, are seen as equals. And we ought to be seen that way. I mean, just go on social media, and I think Rick makes reference to this a lot. What happens, what is being written on social media, if people disagree with you because you have taken a position on how you determine the success of a march. And I know I'm digressing. The success of a march cannot be determined by the number of people who participate in that march. And anyone who wants to delude themselves into believing that a march can only be deemed successful or mainly be deemed successful based on the number of people in that march, in that particular event, they're lying to themselves. How many marches in history we have had? And let's look at it from St. Lucia's perspective. I mean, you've had marches with one individual. Is it not successful? Protest activities. You had this lady who has been a part of a protest every now and then outside the government building, etc., various parts. You had a lady who had a march outside the water and sewage company. A one-woman march on that basis of protest. One-woman protest activity. Not successful? That's how you're judging a march? And I will still stress, in 1982, just before that general election, which political party drew the largest crowds? In 1982, just before that poll, the Progressive Labour Party of George Odlum. How many seats did he win? 1. In the run-up to the 2021 general election, you heard a particular politician, I think it was Guy Joseph, saying his motorcade. You have vehicles from Bexar all the way to Miku, etc., etc. He lost his seat, and the United Workers' Party failed miserably at the polls. We all know, 15-2. So, delude yourself into believing that a march is successful or it has failed because of a turnout. And so, be comfortable. Rest on your laurels. That because you perceive that there was a low turnout of a particular march, that automatically you're going to win the next general election. But you know those people, when you make those points, they don't criticize you on the point, you know. They question your intelligence. They make reference to your height, as if I care about such criticism. So let's listen to the Prime Minister, and this time we'll play the clip in its entirety, addressing the name calling and race and whether, if you want to be Prime Minister, you should be born in St. Lucia, as if that is so much of an issue in Barbados, where you had David Thompson as Prime Minister of Barbados, who was not born in Barbados. Maurice Bishop was not born in Grenada. Edward Siaga was not born in Jamaica. You had Lester Bird was not born in Antigua. But we are so bright in St. Lucia because we had 2 Nobel laureates. It has to be an issue in St. Lucia. It has to be debated. A St. Lucian, somebody who's Prime Minister, must be born in St. Lucia. That's how exceptional we are as a people.
There were some people who said a lot of things about me, why I shouldn't be Prime Minister. They said I stuttered. They said I couldn't bring international. They said I couldn't bring international investment. Which try to hide these things.
Yeah, but these are two different things, Mr. Prime Minister.
Not two different things. That is much. In fact, being born in St. Lucia is a legitimate question.
Why?
Legitimate question. Because there's a school of thought that says, I'm not saying I agree with it. You see, and there must be discussion. There's a school of thought that says, to represent the country, must be born in it. There's a school of thought that says so. There are many people who think so. So to discuss it doesn't mean anything. There has not been any move by the government to make that a reality. Not be any move. Not be any move. So it's just a matter of we're just looking for things to make. I mean, many people think that I should not be prime minister. They said I stuttered. They said I didn't like it, but I didn't tell them not to say it. In fact, they still say it. You understand? I mean, there was a guy who went on the radio and I'm coming back to the idea about black.
Mm-hmm.
When people were, racism. A guy went on a platform and he said he doesn't want any black man the prime minister of St Lucia. He says he prefers, and the tape of you must have heard the tape, he prefers a white man prime minister of St Lucia. Mm-hmm. He says on the platform, on the United Workers' Party platform. No one, we said we didn't like it, but we didn't make a fuss. If I say, that guy is racist and things so. Anytime, in St. Lucia, we have convenient truths. Again, I'm quoting somebody. Convenient truths. We don't deal with the reality of the situation. Fact is, a situation where there are two opposing candidates. One is black and one is white. That's a fact. It's a fact. Why are you running away from that? Why are you pretending that white gets black? That's a fact. This is a visible fact. So why are you afraid of it? We have to deal with it. St. Lucians have voted a white man for prime minister. So to say St. Lucia is a recent thing, that's not true. When St. Lucia has voted, and then that's the choice of St. Lucia. So why are we all in a sudden, when we bring that talk about black, people say you're racist? Why are we doing that? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Why are we doing that? Do you understand?
So your administration is distancing itself from any move to change the constitution to make it impossible for a person who's not born here to become prime minister.
That
yes?
has never been in our discussion. It has not been yet in our discussion.
White man, we don't want him. He needs to go. Move out. I don't just say. With black people, we don't need white people. With black people, we don't need white people. With black people, we don't need white people. He needs to go. He has to go. We don't need Chasney. Chasney is a white man who is black. We don't need white people.
If you say you don't want to vote for the man, don't vote for the man, but not on the basis of his skin color. Good afternoon to you, Kimani. Brown lady, what is in the chat room?
Brown lady, Tim, huh?
Yeah. You're not white, you're not black.
Someone says, precisely, Tim. Last election, UWP had huge crowds and still lost miserably. Anything can change in a split second. Another comment, why they don't want a fair-skinned PM when they go abroad to negotiate, you stand a better chance with fair skin. Someone says, was this statement condemned? Not to my knowledge. Both parties are guilty in my opinion. Another comment, SLP supporters see that daily they go as far as calling the supporters of the United Workers' Party house slaves. St. Lucians are too petty and thrive on too much drama. Someone says, anyone who speaks about the color of one's skin cannot accept their own skin color themselves. They should be able to accept everyone. If not, they have a low self-esteem. Someone claims to him that name calling is in our DNA. And on the lighter side, Tim, birthday greetings are in order for a certain royal individual. Do you want to guess who, Tim?
Royal individual.
Royal individual.
Royal. I don't know. That's Juliana?
No. So, Tim, happy birthday to the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj. The release of her Pink Friday album 2 today. A gift that not just keeps on giving, but rhyming. And to Nicki, I say, may your day be as fabulous and fierce as your verses. But that's it in the chat room, Tim.
That's the request you're sending on, the greetings you're sending on NewsSpin?
Yes.
To Nicki Minaj?
Yes,
okay. Let me say hi to an individual, a news spinner I met last evening in a watering hole. Let me say hi to Danny Boy. Okay, so nice meeting you, Danny Boy. And I'm sure that you are either monitoring or listening to NewsSpin right now. Good afternoon to you, Danny Boy. In a moment, your calls and your WhatsApp messages and, of course, your discussions in the chat room. Come down to the Furniture Factory and get good deals on beds and mattresses. Ultra 4 mattress, queen size as low as $595. Spring mattress as low as $795. Ultra fiber standard pillows 2 for $25. For every mattress purchased, we're giving you 2 standard size ultra fiber pillows for free. We also specialize in custom made upholstery furniture. Lowest prices you won't find anywhere. Talking about the Furniture Factory located at Ascanout in Dennery. For more information, call 453-4907. That's 453-4907. And also 460-6028, 460-6028. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lazarus's funeral home is here for you. Lazarus's private cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's private cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's funeral home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouteille at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
It's my life and I want more. More time, more power. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card. Pay direct to Lucy like my account. I have the power, yeah. Pay online to Lucy like my account. Anywhere, any day, any hour. Lights are on at home. No more standing in line. No more worrying about my bill. Now I'm all paid up. Got more time to chill, yeah, yeah. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card.
Register today to set up Lucelect My Account by going to www.myaccount.lucelect.com on any device. Follow the steps to register and pay your electricity bills directly to Lucelect online and get back to your life. For now, this service is available to customers with domestic accounts only.
Celebrate the season with KFC's Christmas Festive Feast. Feast on our festive bucket. 6 pieces of chicken, 2 small mashed potatoes, 2 corns, 2 sodas, all for just $45. Or grab the festive box. 5 dipping wings, a sandwich, fries, a biscuit, and a soda, only $28. Make your holidays special with KFC's Festive Feast. Available at all KFC locations and for delivery. WhatsApp us at 484-0400 or visit our website, kfcslu.com for more information. This is a limited time offer. Happy holidays from the management and staff of KFC.
You asked for it, and it's back. The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited announces the return of its Merry Till February Christmas loan promotion. Get up to $30,000 with absolutely no deposit and up to 5 years to repay. It's Merry Till February with the Farmers Credit Union. Call 454-6710 in VA4 or 452-7277 in Castries to book an appointment with one of our loans officers today. Terms and conditions apply.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are able to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. To make it easier for you, La Clinique de Corps is currently offering a special 30% discount for the Christmas season for all specialist consultations. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So, walk into the new year pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book your appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Tis the season reason for new internet, a laptop, and some extra cash. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply. Valid while stocks last.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Celebrate this festive season with automotive art and make it a December to remember. Deck the halls of your garage with incredible deals that will light up your holiday season. For a limited time, enjoy a merry 20% off on all tools and accessories. The perfect gift for the car enthusiast in your life. But the holiday cheer doesn't stop there. Buy 3 tires on selected tire models and unwrap the gift of a 4th one for free. It's our way of spreading the joy of the road. And if that's not enough to make your season bright, slay the streets with up to 50% off on rims. Make this Christmas unforgettable. A December to remember at Automotive Art. Don't forget that we've extended opening hours in our Castries branch until 6 p.m. So hurry in and let the savings sleigh ride into your festive celebration. Automotive Art, where holiday magic meets the open road.
Find me where they find tonight, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Hey! Your one-stop shop, lottery, VLTs and bingo. Come for the games, stay for the food, drinks and more. Celebrate with we feeling lucky. Blast with victory. Find me where they find tonight, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Yeah, we playing blast.
Must be 18 or over to play. Only from the St Lucia National Lottery. Changing lives.
The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union wishes to inform all its members that its 20th annual general meeting has been rescheduled. The annual meeting will now be held on Sunday, December 17th at the Viewfort Infant School on Clark Street. The meeting will start from 1 p.m. All members of the credit union are asked to make a special effort to attend the 20th annual general meeting. There will be lots of attractive prizes to be won.
Moment I'll be speaking with somebody on the observance of International Human Rights Day on Sunday. Before that, Kimani, the chat room, what is happening there?
Someone says, you hear the racist, but when the white people come off the cruise ship and they don't make any money, they're complaining. SMH. Another comment, we are not racist in St. Lucia, we're just ignorant. They hate the white men but love their money. Someone is asking Tim, are you drinking from a watering hole? Are you drinking water from a hole?
Water, yes, water.
Black or white, brown or Shabin, we're all made in the image and likeness of God. We're all human beings. Someone is asking, is the Prime Minister comparing the opinion of one person with the policy positions his government is considering? And another comment, so why does color have to come into politics? Someone says, we as black people, we need to educate our people. And finally, St. Lucians are prejudiced against their own selves.
All right, let's see if we can establish contact with Miss Mary Francis, Human Rights Attorney, as we're getting all set to observe International Human Rights Day, and that is on Sunday. We will speak about the significance of that observance to not only the rest of the world, but indeed to us in St. Lucia. Because ever so often we hear that the rights of citizens are being violated from time to time. We even have an ombudsman, and I think the responsibility of that individual is to deal with various issues where people believe that their rights have been violated, in particular by the government of St. Lucia. All right, we're unable to establish contact with her, but we'll continue to attempt to do so. So stand by for that interview with Miss Mary Francis, human rights attorney. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let me see if I have a WhatsApp message. It reads, what is this guy, our Prime Minister, saying? He is all over the place, can't understand him, makes no sense. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message, and this one reads, it really hurts to hear and see that this government plays politics with the minds of St. Lucians. Also disgusting to use racist and discriminatory comments by the St. Lucia government to the people. We have a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Yes, good afternoon to you, caller. Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
Tim, you know, I have to go back on this turning point thing yesterday. I was so glad to hear that somebody come and give us some insight of what's happening in Turning Point, because that's an institution that is dear to my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I spent some time in there, and I think that's where that gives me my sanity.
Okay.
Today, I had children, and to inform you that that's why I got my girlfriend at Turning Point. Come and visit some family, and while she was there, I spoke to her, and today I had her at my wife, although we are separated right now. But what I'm trying to tell you, Tim, that is an institution. At my time, it didn't cost all that much to get there. It was about $450. I was in the 19. That's about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm checking kind of programs we have in there. That's where I got myself together. I found out that I was a leader. We had foreign consulars at the time. We had foreign consulars at the time come in to talk to us and find out our background, our life story and stuff like that. And then we understand that I was a leader. I never know I was a leader of what, I don't know. But you know what, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
At that time, when I went there, I'm from the South, I took 9 persons from the airport to the institution at this year. When I went there, when people found out that I don't know if I had any status in the community, because driving trucks, I do clerical work at offices and stuff like that. I don't know if it would have propelled them, but I told you, Tim, I went there 1 week, they had 9 of us from the South. That was a record. Nobody realized that. I never realized I had this potential to take all these people from the South, to take to the North, to this institution. At that time, it was dilated. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tim, I told you today, when I'm hearing that the government is trying to say about this stuff about they have to do things, I'm telling them that it is an important institution. It's a vital institution, and it's one of these institutions we cannot stay without in this country. I'm telling you that, especially with the kind of situation we have in this country. We have to have an institution. As I tell you, Tim, I got my sanity there. I got everything from there. Even whilst I was there, I got victimized by government and all stuff like that. Imagine one of the guys that was in inspiration with me. Let me give you a story about how the institution is working. One of the individuals that was there, whilst I was there with me, we are not healed because we are, they call us recovering addicts, because we always could go back and fall in that same thing if we don't call our higher power and speak about it. That guy, I was with him in that place. He had a job as a CEO. The guy fired me at the job. And you know that same guy that got that job, you know who facilitated him with a firearm? I don't know. The guy was in the institution with me at certain point, and they issued a firearm, without, I don't know if they vet him, if they do anything about him. But later I was heard that they took that firearm from him because he was arrested in the bad they took him. So let's forget about that story. Tim, let's go to another story now. Tim, not today. I'm trying to get some recourse for my family in Viewport. I go to family court already. Tim, let me tell you who I am right now. I'm the same person that called you about that disabled child in Viewport.
Okay. And I think, thank God, you got some assistance from a St Lucian national living overseas, right?
A lot of assistance. I thank them up to now. They're listening all over the world. I know that's the most monitored talk show in the world, and I thank them. Especially Mr. Thomas in Barbados and everybody that helped me. I could mention names. I get a lot of support.
Okay.
Up to now, the only support I want is from the institution in this country. I'm left with that child at home. I'm trying to see if I could get the funds the government is giving that girl to me, because right now I say that child has been abandoned by her mother, by his mother. 11 months going to 12 months now, he never come and visit him, he never come and see this alive or well. So I tell him it's okay. I realize that we abandoned that child. So all I want the institution to do is to send the funds down to me. I go to family court, they tell me I have to go to Cashews. I can't leave before then go to Cashews without a ticket and anything. And I don't know where to go. I can't get a caretaker at home. I don't have facilities to accommodate a caretaker, and I'm in serious crap in this. So,
okay. What I will endeavor to do, sir, is to contact somebody from the relevant authorities and then have them contact you. Okay, so maybe I'll try to do this over the weekend so that they can contact you on Monday.
Contact them already. Team, I contact them already. You can't get no result. All what they tell me, they're coming back to me, and I can't get nobody.
Well, I will try, caller.
I can't get nobody because the whole system is there. The social system is screwed up, team.
I will try on your behalf.
Team.
Okay. Take care, sir. And as always, thank you so much for calling the broadcast. Kimani, what's happening in the chat room?
In the chat room, we have someone saying, ignorant and racist, what a dangerous mix. Another comment, we are a melting pot of ethnicity. Should the children and the descendants of Sir Frederick Clark, Sir J.Q. Charles, and their defendants be marginalized because of the color of their skin, the hypocrisy, and ignorance? Someone says, in my opinion, to even mention the color of anyone's skin is in itself racist. So that's it, Tim.
Yeah, because the Prime Minister made reference. It's a fact that we have two people wanting to govern the country. I mean, one is black and one is white. So clearly, as somebody just wrote, that is playing on the ignorance of the people of St. Lucia, because they have people who see things along those lines, racial lines, black and white. There are people who say things based on your gender, male or female. They tell you that a female is not suitable for a particular job, etc. So we have to get away from those things. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Tim, permit me quickly. You mentioned about the Prime Minister. You said you would have played that clip, his position on the Venezuelan issue. I think you have it on a clip.
It's coming up.
Okay. Now you remember there was a time we used to call most of those bridges that was built in Central. I think about two of them, and they used to call them Alba Bridge.
Alba Bridge, yeah.
And it was by the previous Prime Minister when he said they were getting $20 million from the government of Venezuela. And those, even we have one of those examples in Fonculi where one of those bridges was built and it was collapsed. As a matter of fact, the person who built that bridge, well, deceased. And then that bridge, they still name it the one in Fonculi to Bellevue, Albert Bridge. And I don't know, the other one has to be all the way from Beck, or whatever it was. But I raised this issue because are we still a member of Alba, St. Lucia?
I don't think Alba is in existence anymore. I think the program has been discontinued.
Because when that thing was surfaced, we had difficulty of put St. Lucia as a member of Alba. And you know very well the position that St. Lucia holds in terms of the democratic system election every 5 years. Now, I've heard so much about that race thing. There was when the United Workers' Party, Sir Alan Shaftney was Prime Minister, President Trump was the President of the United States. I don't know if you recall, he called 4 Caribbean Prime Ministers to Mar-a-Lago. You remember that?
Yes.
It was the Alan Shaftney, Andrew Holness, I think the Prime Minister of Bahamas, and I think the other one has to be the Haitian President.
Yes, you're correct.
If I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why I said that, at that time it has to deal with the Venezuela issues at that time, with Juan Guaido was naming as Prime Minister.
President.
And also on with the problem in Venezuela. And then St Lucia position, Sarah Flood-Bob, when she listened to the program, she was Foreign Affairs Minister. And she articulated St Lucia's position on the international arena, where St Lucia, in as much as St Lucia does not want to involve in anybody's politics, any other country's politics, internal politics, and tell them how to run the politics. But St Lucia have always observed the democratic system where there every 5 years election, and you have every right to go to the ballot box freely and cast your vote. We don't have no dictator person do, go and put themselves, and then they don't want to get out. They even change the constitution to make them president for life, all of this crap. Now, I'm saying this because there is a Venezuelan ambassador in St. Lucia, right?
Yeah.
She's a Salona, whatever. I listened to her the last time, and, it's a pity. Probably she was saying, she had a press conference, whatever she had. But let these people know. St. Lucia does not get involved in any other country's internal affairs. St. Lucia is a democratic country, and they will remain abided on the democratic system. The situation in Venezuela way before does not have anything to do with St. Lucia. Does not see which one should be stay as a dictator or which one is supposed to be go. Our position is that we accept the democratic system where there have to be elections, and that was St. Lucia's position. And the situation is very, I think, by now you heard it all over the news, where 5 or thereabout JDS soldiers was killed in a helicopter crash missing. 2 survive, and the other 5, they are deceased. So we can say condolences to the family of those persons. It's unfortunate. I mean, these situations were to happen, maybe at a time of heightened tension, busy, or, to make sure that to see the borders secure and whatever. But a mishap happened, and those persons were killed. So, unfortunately, that is how sometimes it has to happen. Nobody knows when we're going to be next. So then, I just had to say that because we have had so much issues on St. Lucia position, on the Venezuela issues with Guyana, and the Prime Minister, although you said you're going to play the clip, I think I'd rather listen to the clip.
We'll hear from the Prime Minister in just a moment.
But next week.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. We'll hear from the Prime Minister in just a moment on this. As a matter of fact, the Prime Minister and his other CARICOM counterparts, if they're not meeting now, they're scheduled to meet during the course of this afternoon on this whole border dispute between Guyana and Venezuela. In the chat room, what's happening there?
In the chat room, someone says the law is always in favor of the mother, even if the mothers don't play any part in the child's life, and that's wrong. The Prime Minister said that they have not had the discussion about changing the constitution to only have born St. Lucians to become Prime Minister. Does that mean they have the intention of doing so? Someone else says, I keep shouting on all rooftops. The SLP is operating just like the Republican Party in the U.S. Their modus operandi is the same. Someone says they need to stop begging the white man. And let's see what else we have in the chat room. We need to cancel this ignorant. All right, I won't finish this comment, but that's it in the chat room, Tim.
Thank you so much. We have a WhatsApp call. Okay, we have lost that call, but continue to call once again at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Okay, we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
I thought you were cruising in lines to answer.
Yes, go ahead with your contribution, sir. You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what I think it's Charlotte accountant Myers. Is it Myers?
Yeah, Mr. Frank Myers.
Frank Myers said, concerning here and Alexander, I think this back and forth, this thing will never finish. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this back and forth issue with Cabot and Myers and Alexander, that will never finish. I can remember Myers was on Newsmaker Live. He was on Newsmaker Live, and I questioned him about why they did not embark, right? In fact, while he was on the board of NIC, why they did not embark on an agricultural project, right? And he didn't answer. In fact, he just said no. He's not even going through any details, which gave me good reasons to believe that Myers will have no interest in St. Lucians, right? Because instead of giving Cabot the ring,
I think what he said as far as the mandate of NIC is concerned, they're not likely to invest in agricultural projects because it tends to be very risky.
Risky? No, well, I wouldn't say that. The only challenge I would consider, right, in agriculture is predation, right? That's what they have to deal with.
But anyway,
and
caller,
I wouldn't say it's risky.
He made reference to the mandate of the National Insurance Corporation. It ought to have a mandate. So if you have an issue with the mandate, have the authorities review it. But the board has to go according to this. All right? The charter.
Well, I think if they had gone that way, it would have been a lot better. Because looking at this thing, like I said, the only challenge in agriculture is predation. And again, back, right, spending money there, doing it properly, especially, that's why I always talk about an agricultural project, right? A project. That means not everybody knows that you construct a project where a number of people is employed, and you have supervisors, right, to supervise them to see what they're doing. Once this thing is well supervised, I think everything will go well. I really don't see the risk right in that. And if they had go that way, I believe NIC would be making quite a lot of money. Like I've said that, especially the 7 Corp project, because we started the 7 Corp project, that to me that it didn't come out as it was said, right? Like I thought that if they had gone in a mega way, like I heard Ezekiel Joseph said, that thing would have worked out, right? You put, let's say like one of the crops, let's say like 7 different constituencies, one crop each, you employ 500 people, right? 500 people. That means in all the 7 constituencies, you have gotten 500 people employed. That would not be enough. That would be a lot, right? That is almost bringing back our green gold days, okay? And these things properly supervised. Now let me just interrupt cut for a minute. Our people can say when they hear about agriculture that we are small, we are not able to compete. I think that's garbage talk. Whenever you see people come and say that we are small, we are not able to compete, that is garbage talk, right? We produce good quality crops. Just forget about the bigger countries that can produce 10 times more than us. Just put that aside. Leverage our business right, produce quality crops, right? And then we can make money regardless of who is competing with us. And I believe, right, if NIC had gone that way, right, put everything in place, take care of the predation, they would have made millions, right? The government would have, everybody, right, would have been making money. The NIC would have, at least, when I estimate the 7 Corp project, like I've said, 149 to 150 million, the NIC would have made some 50 million, right? You could have employed some 3,500 persons, and you could have taxed them. That's another set of money. The government would have been, people would have gotten paid, the country would have been running.
Well, I would have loved to see this on paper, to see your plan, and to see if it can work, and maybe you could have presented it to the authorities, caller.
That can work, right? Because let me tell you something.
No, caller. It's not only saying that the plan can work, but it's proving that the plan.
It will work. I have good reason to believe it will work, because right now in the south and the west, it is dead. The only movement you have the countries running is in the north and Castries. Right? It's in the north and Castries. The only discourse is not running. Everything is dead. So that means if you target the areas that are dead, right, agricultural wise, right, it is going to elevate the place. And it's going to have the place running just like the days of
To be continued, sir. My apologies because we're trying to get into contact with human rights attorney, human rights activist, Miss Mary Francis. She's also trying to call us. So as soon as we're able to do that, we will speak with her as we're getting all set to observe International Human Rights Day, and that is on Sunday.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Miss Mary Francis.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am, good afternoon. On Sunday,
good afternoon,
the world will be observing International Human Rights Day. From St. Lucia's perspective, ma'am, what is the relevance of this year's observance?
Yes, it's very relevant. As a matter of fact, this year, on the 10th of December, Sunday, we will be celebrating 75 years, the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is the pivotal, the seminal document which ushered into the world universal human rights. In other words, all people all over the world have a right to those rights which were declared on the 10th of December 1948 by the United Nations. It's very important because, as I say, the basis of all democracy or the duty or the purpose of governments is to protect human rights. And therefore, I think we should be very observant of the way in which government operates, be observant in terms of the needs of the people, and in terms of not only just the question of our civil rights, in terms of our rights to liberty and so forth, but in terms of the social and economic rights. Right now in St. Lucia, they are under pressure and they are likely to be breached, especially the whole idea of the 2.5 levy. I'm very concerned about that because it's having an adverse effect on our economic rights, our right to social rights also, our right to an adequate standard of living, which is also part of human rights coming from the whole declaration 75 years ago, which was proclaimed. And the theme for this year is to stand up for human rights, the dignity, freedom, and justice for all people. This is very important. To say if St. Lucians are not aware, worldwide it is universal, and the importance of this declaration and this Universal Declaration of Human Rights is that for the first time in history, human rights was made universal. It was not like that before. It was because of the atrocities of the Second World War and so forth. That is why this declaration came into being. And look at what we are seeing now in terms of the Gaza and the Israeli conflict, which is a shame, and which also, makes it look as though the United Nations is almost ineffective. But the United Nations can only be effective if the nations, the states, which are members of the United Nations, do their duty and actually show in action their respect for human rights. And in St. Lucia, we have the whole question of we don't have a National Human Rights Association established by government after 44 years of independence, where in our constitution, fundamental rights are guaranteed. It remains just paper rights unless you have the structures to ensure that when those rights are breached by the state, you have an avenue where you can go to. We need to have, I'm calling upon the government on this 75th anniversary of the declaration to establish a National Human Rights Organization. We will be helping government. We'll be able to monitor the performance of government in terms of the conventions they have signed. Because coming from this declaration, a number of conventions and treaties were signed, which bind countries all over the world. Countries were signed onto the convention. For example, the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. As a matter of fact, because of this convention that St. Lucia acceded to and signed since, I think, 1980s, or thereabout, they have now have the Domestic Violence Act. You see, so that is how things come about. And you need NGOs, human rights NGOs, who could stand as a buffer between the state and the citizen, or else the state will always take advantage and do things which, to me, there might be no remedy or no sanctions for the behavior of state actors, police officers, other public servants, and so forth. If we have this national commission, instead of always going to the court, access to the court, which is very expensive and in terms of the foreman, then the commission can look into those situations. For example, the whole question of the St. Mary's College suit against the state for the hair policy of the young man and so on. You have a commission that can deal with those things rather than burdening the court with issues like that. That is how you can actually develop the rights we have in the Constitution, make them accessible to people. You have to put the structures in place. So it's very relevant for us as a post-colonial society where we know there was a lot of oppression, and you have the question of a lot of people are marginalized. It is very, very important for us to observe the Human Rights Day and for us to all stand up for human rights, one for all. all for one. We have to take this policy in St. Lucia. As a matter of fact, also what can be done in terms of not just the duty of the state, because primarily it is the state who has to comply with human rights, human rights on the international, according to the convention. But also we wanted to go horizontal. In other words, the whole society go across to the non-state institution like the public sector, because you have discrimination probably at the workplace. You have the whole question of sexual harassment at the workplace. You know, so we want to have legislation passed by government which can deal with those issues and can also, the private sector can comply to ensure that on a broad scale, human rights are observed and respected in St. Lucia, not just by the state, but by other institutions, the private sector, and so forth. Education is very important. So I think my emphasis this year is in terms of getting government to accept the appoint a National Human Rights Commission in the same way that they have brought legislation for the special prosecutor. I think human rights is even more important than the special prosecutor at this point in time. Because whilst we have a legal aid authority by government, it is inadequate. The people who really need the access and legal aid are those who actually suffer their abuse by the state. And those people cannot afford the 5,000 plus to go to court. So in other words, the legal aid they have is insufficient. So we need to extend the programs in place. Convention on the Rights of the Child, we have such about sexual abuse of children and so forth. We need to have organizations that can monitor and to call upon people to join human rights organizations. We can have a cell, human rights cell in every constituency. I know UNESCO had a human rights branches in the schools, UNESCO clubs, dealing with human rights. That has to be revived so that all over St. Lucia, people will be aware of the rights in the various conventions and the declaration and so forth. And the constitutional rights, which is 44 years old in terms of our fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. How many people know about those rights? We need greater education. But my organization, by the way, is celebrating 25 years this year also. It was in June 1998 that it was incorporated as an NGO on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration. And I'm not so happy because I don't think I've made much progress. It's almost on the verge of collapse. So I need young people, I need people to join because I don't think it is important in a democracy. The way things are going in St. Lucia now, as we have a vibrant human rights organization and NGO, quite apart from the government-established Human Rights Commission, which is necessary at this point in time.
Okay, ma'am.
The 2.5 levy has to be repealed. It has to be repealed. If the government has any conscience, they will just trying to bounce back from the COVID, build back our lives and so forth. People are still unemployed. You have families which actually are in great need. You cannot tell me why it's okay. We can see the purpose, but it is not the right time because it's actually affecting our right to an adequate standard of living, our right to life. If you cannot eat properly, if you cannot get help, what life do you have? So I'm calling upon the government to repeal the 2.5 levy that it has imposed on the backs of people. But only the poor, the middle class, telephone bills have gone up because of 2.5 plus the VAT and so forth. Government has to be the servant of the people, and therefore we should not have to be paying the brunt of whatever is needed in the country at this point in time, when we have to see for our lives and to make sure that our economic and social rights are being satisfied. What we're seeing as they are supposed to be our servants, always on the television, well-dressed people, well-fed people, they have it good. I'm not blaming, I'm saying because they have an important job to perform. But at the same time, what about the people? Something is wrong. This has to go. It has to go because I'm telling you, people are suffering in this country. And in terms of human rights, that is not the time for it. We have to stand up for dignity and justice for everybody. So at this point in time, I'm calling upon them, and I'm also wishing everybody to have a happy Human Rights Day on Sunday, security of their life, and so forth.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, ma'am. On the occasion of Sunday's observance of International Human Rights Day, you just heard there from Miss Mary Francis saying that the 2.5% levy should be repealed. In her words, it has to go. It has to go. But will it? Will the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, listen to Miss Mary Francis? The broadcast continues just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It's called NewsSpin.
Santa Claus is coming to your community. Look out for First National Bank's Traveling Santa on Saturday, 9th December 2023 as he brings Christmas cheer to the children in many communities island-wide. 'Tis the season for giving, and First National Bank Santa and his helpers will be making the way down the communities starting at 7:30 a.m. at First National Bank's head office in Rodney Bay, Grosile, next to Domino's Pizza. Castries at the Derek Walcott Square from 9 a.m. Ansleray at the Vendors Market near the Bay at 10 a.m. Canaries Primary School from 11 a.m. Soufriere, we're coming to the Soufriere Square from 12 p.m. Choiseul near the Vendors Market from 1 p.m. Vieux Fort at the Philip Marsler grounds from 2 p.m. Mon Repos at the Passias Combined School from 3 p.m. and at the Dennery Multipurpose Facility from 4 p.m. Bring the children for their moment with Santa and the First National Bank team. First National Bank, here for you.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
It's my life and I want more. More time, more power. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card. Pay direct to Lucy like my account. I have the power, yeah. Pay online to Lucy like my account. Anywhere, any day, any hour. Lights are on at home. No more standing in line. No more worrying about my bill. Now I'm all paid up. Got more time to chill, yeah, yeah. Pay my Lucy like bill isn't hard. I pay with credit or debit card.
Register today to set up Lucelect My Account by going to www.myaccount.lucelect.com on any device. Follow the steps to register and pay your electricity bills directly to Lucelect online and get back to your life. For now, this service is available to customers with domestic accounts only.
Sign up for a large postpaid plan and get 2 Samsung Galaxy A4s for just $199 plus 2 entries into the Everyday Grand Giveaway. This Christmas is on us. Sign up in store or online today at discoverflow.co. Terms and conditions apply.
You asked for it, and it's back. The National Farmers and General Workers Credit Union Limited announces the return of its Merry Till February Christmas loan promotion. Get up to $30,000 with absolutely no deposit and up to 5 years to repay. It's Merry Till February with the Farmers Credit Union. Call 454-6710 in VA4 or 452-7277 in Castries to book an appointment with one of our loans officers today. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready for the most delicious holiday season ever with KFC's 12 Days of Christmas. Starting November 18th to 19th December, spend just $30 or more at KFC and you could win fabulous prizes. Win an iPhone 15, a home entertainment system, a smartwatch, a VR headset, and household appliances. Plus, we're giving away a $1,500 grocery voucher and a $500 voucher for wine and spirits. The excitement continues from December 8th to December 19th with one incredible prize up for grabs every single day. Terms and conditions apply. This promotion is approved by the St Lucia National Lottery. Don't miss out on your chance to win big this holiday season with KFC's 12 Days of Christmas. Promotion valid at all KFC locations and delivery. Visit kfcslu.com for full terms and conditions.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are able to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. To make it easier for you, La Clinique de Corps is currently offering a special 30% discount for the Christmas season for all specialist consultations. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So, walk into the new year pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book your appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Celebrate this festive season with automotive art and make it a December to remember. Deck the halls of your garage with incredible deals that will light up your holiday season. For a limited time, enjoy a merry 20% off on all tools and accessories. The perfect gift for the car enthusiast in your life. But the holiday cheer doesn't stop there. Buy 3 tires on selected tire models and unwrap the gift of a 4th one for free. It's our way of spreading the joy of the road. And if that's not enough to make your season bright, slay the streets with up to 50% off on rims. Make this Christmas unforgettable. A December to remember at Automotive Art. Don't forget that we've extended opening hours in our Castries branch until 6 p.m. So hurry in and let the savings sleigh ride into your festive celebration. Automotive Art, where holiday magic meets the open road.
Find me where the vibe's nice, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Hey. Your one-stop shop, lottery, VLTs and bingo. Come for the games, stay for the food, drinks and more. Celebrate with me, we feeling lucky. Blast with victory. Find me where they find's nice, where we come to play within it. Blast your stress away, but know your limit. Just feel it, you're winning. We're having a blast, blast, blast. Yeah, we playing blast.
Must be 18 or over to play. Only from the St Lucia National Lottery. Changing lives.
For the festive season, Lucians like their ham, the turkey, pork, beef and liquor.
Why not? But that's all for the kitchen. What about the living room?
A vacuum cleaner to tidy up the place, man.
What about the yard?
A lawnmower, a brush cutter, leaf blowers, a high pressure washer. The thing is, Europa Hardware has all the robust tools we all need to nice up the place. A large variety of water pumps, generators, air compressors, garden hoses, and more. A list that has no end. Plus, Europa services all the tools they sell. Give them a call at 452-0763. Europa Hardware. We are located in Massad, Brazil.
Happy holidays, St Lucia, from Europa.
Don't forget to come on down to the Furniture Factory and get good deals on beds and mattresses. Ultra Foam mattress, the queen size, as low as $595. Spring mattress as low as $795. Ultra fiber standard pillows, 2 for $25. And for every mattress purchase, we're giving you 2 standard size ultra fiber pillows for free. The we were talking about? Furniture Factory. They are located at Ascanout in Dennery. Telephone 453-4907, 453-4907, or 460-6028, 460-6028, 460-6028. Kimani, earn your salary. What's in the page? What's in the chat room?
Someone is asking, did St. Lucia put up their public Christmas tree as of yet? Another comment, let's see.
People, I don't think St. Lucia are really interested in that, interested in the 2.5%. They want a break. They want to be able to purchase
their lamb,
their lamb, their pork, their ham, turkey, you name it, their marley. Around the time of year, most people change their marley, right?
Right, yeah.
See people going with their marley.
They paint their houses.
Cetera, yeah.
Another comment, the St. Jude's Hospital must be continued no matter what it takes. Someone says, I was raised in the era 1960s to 1970s when we used to call each other nigger. We meant no malice, just for pure and sheer name calling. We are all blacks, Shabin, brown, etc. Those were the days of innocence. Today, to some, it's a bad word. That being said, racism is well and alive in St. Lucia. When an ordinary person can say we do not want no white man as PM, this is very serious. We as a nation have fallen to the depths of degradation. Another comment in the chat room, it's not only the levy, it's what's in place for small business people. Someone says, when they say if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. With the level of ignorance statements being made in the political arena, it's no wonder the country is broke.
We have a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
I listened to the excerpt you played from the interview the Prime Minister had with Stanley regarding that whole black and white issue.
When was that?
I think
the comment we played today?
Yes, today.
Yeah, that was with Andrew Paul.
Oh, sorry, with Andrew Paul, that's right.
Yeah.
And I think the Prime Minister missed an opportunity to unify the country. He could have been a real statesman. And instead of saying that we have a black man and a white man, it is a fact. That is incorrect. Because if one was to go by the one-drop rule, which many countries use and people use to identify your blackness or ethnicity, Alan Shawnee is not a white man. And his father has repeatedly told us about his heritage. So Alan Shawnee, when you look at it closely forensically, is not a white man.
But irrespective, what we have two St. Lucians. One is Prime Minister, one is leader of the opposition. I mean, let's just put it a little bit simpler, okay? We have two St. Lucians. Exactly. One is Prime Minister, one is the leader of the opposition.
So what he has done is created even more division in people's minds. He should have just been a statesman and just said, well, Alan Shawnee is not a white man. We have two St. Lucians. Simple.
You remember how magnanimous McCain was during a debate, a town hall meeting I think he had in the U.S., John McCain. And one of his supporters rose up and said that, described Barack Obama as a Muslim. And he said, no, he's not a Muslim. He's an American, a decent American. Don't vote for him. Don't vote for him, but he's a decent American.
Exactly. Now, you see, it's funny you should bring up that John McCain's comment, because I listened to an interview with the former Republican governor of New Jersey, Kristen Todd Whitman, but the interviewer was referring to the Republican Party. And she said, no, this is not a Republican Party. This is a cult. And I will juxtapose that and say that the St. Lucia Labour Party is becoming a cult. It's poisoning the minds of people in this country. Because Philip J. Pierre could have dismissed all that nonsense going on in the country with regards to race and simply said that there were two St. Lucians vying for leadership in this country. Nothing about I'm a black man and Alan Shawnee is a white man. That is stupid. That's my contribution to it.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing it with us as we continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. I don't know if we have any comments in the chat room, Kimani, to go through.
A few more comments in the chat room. Someone says, Tim, what's wrong with SLDB? Why are they taking so long to approve people's loans? Someone says, breaking news, truly a sad story at this time of the year. The CCJ has just ruled that there cannot be any nativity seen on Parliament grounds this Christmas season. Some senators and House representatives are very disappointed. This is, however, isn't for any religious reason. They simply have not been able to find the three wise men in the nation's parliament. The search for a virgin also continues. There is no problem, however, finding enough to fill the stable. Another comment in the chat room. I support this call for the formation of a human rights association, but I don't know it should be done.
I think it's the Human Rights Commission.
Okay. But I don't know if it should be done by the government. If you're talking about a commission, then that's different. I also agree that the current legal aid system is inadequate. Someone is asking, haven't you all noticed we've been living in a time loop with governance of this country? Someone says they hate white people but kiss their butts for crumbs for the season and curse them off. Caller, we have to listen to the truth. We are old enough to know when someone's not speaking the truth. Caller agriculture is dead in every sense of the way. Just ask the Minister of Agriculture, he will tell you the same.
We have a caller line. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you.
You know, you had quite an opening there about name calling and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I would look on the kind of lighter side of that name calling thing, because you know everything has a history. Eh?
Yeah.
But let me begin by asking you a question. Lately, the word flogging was in the news, right?
Yeah.
People were talking on the talk shows and so on about flogging. What do you think is the troublesome aspect of flogging when people talk about it? Who is doing the flogging or the flogging itself?
I think it's the flogging itself. I think it's the flogging. Because we hear a whole lot about, whether people parents should be administering, corporal punishment, whether they should be administered in schools, etc. Yeah. So I look at it from, you could look at it from a different perspective, but I'm looking at it in totality. Flogging on the whole, but not who does the flogging, etc. For me, it does not matter who does the flogging, whether it's a white man, a black man, whether it's a woman or male.
I was asking your view. I was asking your view of those who were making the noise. But anyway, in this very short history of flogging in St Lucia, it being part of the vernacular, you can easily remember a magistrate.
Yeah, Velon John. Velon John.
Yeah. And I was told by somebody who was probably defending him, I'm not sure, but the person was telling me at the time flogging was on our law books.
Yes.
You know? I'm not sure about that at the time Velon John did it, as it was. But certainly Velon John didn't just recommend the cat and nine tails flogging. Velon John recommended flogging in the square.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember.
Flogging in the square. Then you had one of our more erudite sons, Judge Adlam, recommending flogging in the hanging in that same square.
Was it George? Was it George or Peter?
I know that was George.
That was George.
The next batch. The politicians have been fooled too many times. The next politicians who have fooled the people should be hanged in Columbus Square.
Yeah.
I got to tell you that over the years, and I've thought about that and the price that the people are paying for corrupt politicians of all colors, because nowadays in St. Lucia, a politician requires stating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tim, don't be embarrassed, boy. That's where we've come. Nowadays in St. Lucia, the color of a politician is a factor. No?
Yes, it is. Particularly since Alan Chastanet entered the politics of the country. Before that, I don't think it was much of an issue.
Well, things grow when they are untended, you know, especially evils. Now, so anyway, it seems to me that more fuss was made about Alan Chastanet's reference to flogging politicians, largely on a race thing, because they weren't talking about flogging, how flogging is old-fashioned, how flogging is this, flogging has all kinds of psychological this and that. The talk was about a white man threatening to flog parliamentarians like in the old days of slavery. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when Velon John said it had nothing to do with slavery, when George talked about hanging in the square, it was nothing to do with slavery. But when Alan Chastanet did it, it suddenly had everything to do with slavery. Not stupidity, not talking out of turn, not being careless. It had everything to do with race. Okay? All right. So that's food for thought to your listeners.
But we know how that works, Rick.
A senator called Benson. You may not, Lloyd Benson. And at the time, he was in a 1988 vice presidential debate against Dan Quayle.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan Quayle kept saying to him about JFK, and he worked with him. And then at one point, Benson stopped him and said, wait a minute. Senator, I worked very closely with Jack Kennedy. Senator, you are no Jack Kennedy. Remember that?
I remember.
Brought the House down at that debate, etc. And at which point, I will now tell you, Tim, I'll give you the definition for the name calling. It's referred to in psychology as a sign of low emotional intelligence in psychology. Name calling is a sign of low emotional intelligence. It is, in fact, the lowest form of argument. So you will not be surprised the dumber you are, the sicker you are mentally, the worse will be the kind of name calling you throw out. If you are a smart and witty guy, you're going to throw out some of those Churchill lines.
Yeah.
If you're a smart and witty guy, you're going to throw out the line by Benson, you know, Jack Kennedy, and so on and so on. But if you are sick in your mind, because you can be sick and wealthy, and some of the and even educated, because education does not take care of mental problems,
It doesn't. It could only mask
I want
it.
people to remember that.
It can only mask
because
it.
a guy went to a great school doesn't mean he doesn't have mental issues, mental health issues. We can see that in the house every day. Just because a guy goes to a good school or spend time at some college somewhere does not mean his mental issues were taken care of at all. In fact, the education or the semblance of education might be a concealer for his mental issues.
It will mask it. It will mask it.
I mean, you will not expect a member of parliament to be associated with rape, for example, or with killing people, for example. I mean, you wouldn't expect that, right?
You wouldn't. No.
You wouldn't expect such people to be in power. I'm not saying we have, but I'm saying that would not be a normal expectation, right?
Yeah. But Rick,
but
we
that
have
parliamentarian.
I have to truncate your contribution today, sir, because we need to hear from the Prime Minister on the Guyana-Venezuela issue, and we need to conclude. So 30 seconds to conclude your contribution, sir.
No, I know my place. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rick. Let us hear from Prime Minister Philip JP. I think the Prime Minister, together with his CARICOM counterparts, they would be meeting as we speak on the Ghana-Venezuela border dispute.
St Lucia's position is our region must remain a zone of peace. Our position is in line with the CARICOM position, in that we think that any seizing of land ought not to happen. So we are encouraging dialogue. Guyana is a member of CARICOM. We are friends with Venezuela. We've defended the Venezuelans' right to self-determination. We'll continue to defend that. But as usual, when there is conflict among friends, we have to step in and be peacemakers. CARICOM intends to be the peacemaker. CARICOM intends to broker some sort of discussion so that we cannot lead to a situation of warfare or situation of a loss of life, of enmity between CARICOM and Venezuela. But we hope that good sense prevails, and that is why CARICOM is meeting this afternoon to continue discussions. But again, we can't make any pronouncement that it incensed the situation. It's very tense, because if there is one thing the opposition and the government in Guyana agree, if there's only one thing, is that issue. There's only one thing. But we believe we've taken a CARICOM position. We don't think that thing should gravitate to a point where full powers are to get involved.
Prime Minister Philip J. speaking earlier today with Andrew Paul on Rev Up St Lucia. And finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. NewsSpin news of the day. Venezuela brands U.S. Guyana military drills provocation. Venezuela brands U.S. Guyana military drills provocation. As a broadcast, thank you so much for watching and listening to another week of NewsSpin right here on Power 97.9 FM. Also on YouTube and the NewsSpin Facebook page. Don't forget to purchase your mugs, place your orders by sending me a WhatsApp message at 716-2026, and that is 716 2026. Have a good weekend, and we'll be back, God willing, on Monday afternoon, 12:30, with another edition of NewsSpin. Goodbye.